last week on Legally Kidnapped.
Good evening. Our top story this week, the company whose Photolab employee falsely accused parents of child porn for bath time photos in the summer of 2008 is at it again. And so now it's official. Take your pictures to be developed at Walmart and you're liable to get reported for child abuse. In Maine, the newly elected governor sends a message to the NAACP telling them to kiss his butt after refusing to attend events in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King, then accuses them of pulling the political race card, then pulls a trump card of his own using a picture of his black son who he adopted from Jamaica to prove it's not about race. In Florida this week, Charlie Crist wants social workers to take a refresher course. Texas police are giving tickets to 6-year-olds. Children's Rights accuses Oklahoma of endangering children by cutting back on child abuse investigations to make the state's child welfare statistics look better. And according to a study, the recession did not increase the rates of child neglect in the United States. In California, the number of children with a parent in prison is growing. In Tennessee, police arrest a woman for walking in the snow with her children, then give her kids to the child protective industry. And the state of Oregon earns a D on child sex trafficking laws. International adoptions from India are now being monitored by the High Court following allegations of irregularities. A mother from New Zealand is working to get 1 million signatures on a petition to change the face of the persecutory family court system. And in Ireland, the family court orders a life-saving blood transfusion for a baby which was against the wishes of the kid's Jehovah's Witness parents, but called them good parents in every other way. In Australia this week, caseworkers claim that they are scared to visit at-risk families. In Alberta, Canada, there will be a fatality inquiry into the death of Samantha Martin Monday at 9:30 a.m. at Edmonton Provincial Court, room 449 in Edmonton, Alberta. In England this week, a social worker admits to ignoring warning signs of child abuse on a 2-year-old who was beaten to death by her mother's boyfriend. Ofsted gets to have some fun with the child protective industry in Cornwall. Dozens of women are looking into suing the NHS after becoming pregnant despite being fitted with contraceptive implants. And the human rights people are up in arms over a plan to pay £50 to female drug addicts to get long-term contraceptive devices. Jack Straw accuses Pakistani men of targeting white girls as easy meat. The UK bans smoking in foster homes and pledges to turn smokers away from foster parenting and adoption. And a British mother loses her kid to forced adoption after falling down, being temporarily paralyzed and regaining her health, but having done nothing else wrong whatsoever. In entertainment news this week, Jermaine Jackson is stuck in Africa and can't get his passport renewed until he pays more than $100,000 in back child support. A bishop from the Church of England warns that Elton John's new baby son is at risk of lasting psychological damage from being born of a surrogate and 2 dads. Oksana keeps on running her mouth to the media, and now Mel Gibson is going for custody of little Lucia again. And Janelle Evans, star of MTV's upcoming season of Teen Mom 2, gets busted for breaking and entering and possession of marijuana. In this week's foster crimes report, a Texas foster father gets 10 years for sexually abusing a 15-year-old foster child in his care. A Colorado woman gets 6 years for killing her son who she adopted from the foster care system. In New York, a juvenile justice counselor faces a judge over allegations that he sexually abused a teenager at the courthouse. A foster parent from Arkansas is accused of murder. And in Nevada, a Clark County social service worker is convicted of stealing $91,000 that was meant for the poor. A problematic and politically connected group home in Washington, D.C. is missing records regarding escape attempts, abuse, or unusual incidents. Residents in a neighborhood in New Jersey are trying to stop a new group home from opening. And a social worker from Iowa is recovering from a murder attempt from a 17-year-old resident who was living in the group home where he worked at. In Michigan, parents sue a school for violating their First Amendment rights to raise their child the way they see fit. A medical marijuana patient from Oregon loses her foster care license. And finally, tonight, a family from Oklahoma gets $1.8 million for a false sexual abuse accusation that was pushed based on no evidence by the child protective industry. For these stories and all the latest dirt on the child protective industry, visit www.legallykidnapped.com. And until next week, this is Baby LK, over and out.